Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. So with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So one of the biggest things that we have been noticing is the spotlight put on stablecoins. Stablecoins are obviously one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle when it comes to crypto, as they do provide a ton of liquidity. They are a great thing to utilize whenever you are trading. Obviously, it's one of the most known things around crypto at this point. But outside of crypto, stablecoins have been making a ton of noise, and it is now in the spotlight around major use outside of crypto, specifically around payment technology. How can we streamline things around enterprises and companies? And even banks are looking at stablecoins now because guess what? Back in 2022, we hit massive amounts of trading volume when it comes to stablecoins in the trillions. We're talking about almost $10+ trillion in terms of trading volume for stablecoins. So at this point in time, stablecoins are 100% confirmed to be part of the future of money. And we actually know this because Coinbase put out a great article regarding this as well. And we actually have, and they're already here. And listen, whether you want to accept it or not, stablecoins have become a very, very large piece of the global system now, because even when it comes to payments and receiving payments as an employee, a contractor, whatever, most people will now accept stablecoins outside of just getting paid by PayPal or Venmo or whatever the case may be, because stablecoins are a lot cheaper to get paid in and even pay in. This is one of the biggest use cases around crypto right now, which is just remittances. But beyond this, where do some of these projects like Hedera stand? Well, it's very simple, right? Stablecoins are only going to continue to grow and grow in demand, with Visa offering stablecoin initiatives and their efforts regarding stablecoins going all the way back to September. We also have PayPal with their stablecoin back in September. And even just recently, we know, right around the same exact time, we got the Stablecoin Studio from Hedera. Now, this is a quote from this article, which I will be going over. We have designed for Web3 platforms, institutional issuers, and payment providers. Hedera Stablecoin Studio's toolkit makes it simpler to handle cross-border remittances, DeFi, interbank settlements, and wholesale settlement and micropayments. Like I said, it's not just about remittances, right? There's so many other great use cases for stablecoins. You know, there is DeFi services that greatly are impacted by stablecoins, but then you also have interbank settlement, wholesale settlement, and even micropayments, which are huge. And it kind of takes me back to August of 2023 when DropCC was incorporated with FedNow. And if you guys do remember, Hedera did have a major surge from that time because everybody was, hyped up about it. But regardless, that was micropayments. Micropayments to most people don't seem like a big deal, but the idea that micropayments are just like this small deal or whatever is ridiculous, because guess what? They scale rapidly. Micropayments could lead to trillions and trillions and trillions of transactions on the network. And when we look at stablecoins, they're purpose-built for micropayments. They're great for payments in general. But when we go over to the article, we have a few things here. So first and foremost, we have a multinational financial services firm based in France listed its own euro-backed stablecoin. A prominent US-based stablecoin issuer reports 51% of Latin American consumers have made a purchase with digital currency, and 1/3 have used stablecoin for everyday purchases. A leading US-based digital payment provider announced the issuance of a USD-backed stablecoin. A Nigerian fintech company said it will launch USDC payment settlements with Hedera. And again, these are just some of the moves outside of just what Visa has been trying to do, PayPal as well, which PayPal said that this is the key to traditional finance and mainstream adoption, which we know that the PayPal stablecoin really didn't catch on too much, but it definitely is still one to kind of watch for. But regardless, we have down here that the Stablecoin Studio SDK by Hedera removes barriers involved in creating and managing stablecoin applications. It aims to be an all-encompassing toolkit integrating cutting-edge features for transparency, compliance, and security management. And we have down here, like, what is the Stablecoin Studio? Again, I've already kind of described it to you, but this is like a major platform. It's an all-in-one all-in-one package. And we could see some of the major names behind the stablecoin studio. For an example, back in July, which is like right around the same exact time that we started to see major stablecoin initiatives popping up, a South Korean major bank and Taiwanese financial institution used Stablecoin Studio for a pilot test of international remittances. The proof of concept pilot featured real-time foreign exchange rate conversion between the South Korean won, the Thai baht, and New Taiwan dollar. The financial institutions chose Hedera for its low predictable fees, as bank customers in their region generally pay $20 to $80 in bank fees for cross-border transfers. And like I said, this kind of goes back to the idea of like Ripple streamlining cross-border payments as well. Like everyone thinks that, oh, well, now that there's other players, it means that it's killing the XRP use case. Guys, the cross-border payment market is projected to be a $250 trillion market by 2027. There is so much money there. There is a lot in terms of that market that a lot of these projects can eat. It's not just one player at the table. There is a buffet, and all of these projects, especially the most efficient ones like Hedera, have a seat at that table. Because the pilot was compatible with the EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, it could be used by a host of other stablecoins as well. July's project was the second such pilot for the bank using Hedera's network. The first involved South Africa's Standard Bank, and this is the chief of the blockchain division at Standard Bank, said of Stablecoin Studio, we believe it can become a game changer in the Web3 market. And here are actually the achievements behind it. You can see before and after. So traditional banking hours, 24/7 is after. Lead time, 1 to 10 days. After, 2.5 seconds. Real-time traceability, none, supported by design. Settlement currency, USD, and this is the remit token. Charges, again, those fees are significant, but over here we have half a cent in terms of a transaction fee, which is crazy to think about. But then we also have we have a full breakdown of it. And remember, this is around real-time FX settlement. Do I need to tell you guys about how big FX settlement is and how big the FX market is? Guys, the FX market is a $7.5 trillion per day market. It's big. But we have how does it work? And here's the full breakdown of it. Building success with trust. The Hbar Foundation and Hedera are at the forefront of trust when it comes to Web3. Now, when we look at this, what's going on right now around stablecoins? Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of what we are seeing right now around stablecoins. Mika goes live at the end of this year. This is going to bring in a regulatory framework around stablecoins, which is also going to put stablecoin initiatives and adoption into overdrive. This is going to change the game. From this, I do think that some of these great projects, like for an example, the Hedera Stablecoin Studio, are going to start to see a lot of demand growing with it. Because again, this is compliance first. Hedera has always been compliant first whenever it launches a product like the Stablecoin Studio. So I'm actually very excited about this because again, this could very well lead to a lot more demand and adoption for Hedera, specifically through the studio. But also, what about the US? Very good chance that the US passes stablecoin laws this year. And this was back in January of this year. And we even see here that right now that, well, this was back in January. I don't know what the market cap for it now is. I think it's like over 200 some billion. But at the time, it was $135.3 billion market. I think that they gave us a statistic regarding 2022 on one of these breakdowns. But regardless, I know that it was in the trillions. It was like almost $10 trillion plus. It might even have been a little bit over 10 trillion. But also over here, the Federal Reserve sets guidelines for banks' use of stablecoins. And this was August of last year. Everyone's always looking at how the US is falling behind, but realistically speaking, they have been focused on stablecoins. Stablecoin initiatives are 100% in the spotlight because they know how big of an opportunity this actually is. But then also we got a recent update from Russia and China, and we have I love these headline articles. How Russia and China threaten to front-run U.S. on stablecoins as legislation stalls. But guess what's funny about this? Guys, the race is on. We know that the race is on. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second, but the UK also planned stablecoin and staking legislation within 6 months. This was back in February, followed by now the Bank of England They're talking about stablecoins and how we can incorporate them and why stablecoin initiatives are so big. When we really look at what's going on, they're all preparing for stablecoins. They're all preparing for how big stablecoins actually are in terms of streamlining payments. But what's funny about this is that we already knew this was going to happen. Why? How? Well, it's simple. Back in 2022, specifically November of 2022, Ripple actually put out a post regarding the global stablecoin race is on. Now, again, everyone loves to talk about Ripple. Everyone loves to talk about XRP because, again, they are great players in the space. But remember, like I said, the table is so big, there's a buffet there, and all of these great projects can eat. When we really look at the stablecoin race being on, it really is, right? Like at this point in time, there is going to be a lot more adoption around stablecoin initiatives. Why? Because the market is so ripe for adoption, and the traditional world of finance and payments, it's extremely broken. We need to innovate beyond the traditional means because it's an antiquated system. As technology and as everything moves digital, the traditional system around payments is still stuck in its old ways. So how can we push through into this new world of finance? Well, it's by tapping into very efficient technologies. And Hedera so far is also seeing a lot of demand from that. I mean, these POCs that you're seeing here, and a lot of the major adoption that you're seeing for Hedera as well, is because of the efficiencies behind it and the tech stack. I always say focus on the tech stack because it doesn't matter if there's hype behind it. It doesn't matter about the price action right now because we're not in a market where the tech stack matters or where the tech matters. Everyone is still hyped up. Why do you think that you have, billion-dollar meme coins? It's all hype. But I do think that the greatest success will come from those that are investing into the tech stacks that will become significant leaders and pioneers in this new world that's essentially being crafted through DLT and blockchain-based technology. And we know that Australia is actually pushing the boundaries behind digital payments as well. They have a full-on strategy behind this as well. And it's actually with the Australian Payments Plus. This is the new body behind it, which is a payments group. And this was originally FTPOS, which was utilizing Hedera for major initiatives, which we'll get to that here in a second. But beyond this, right, like it's all about providing better payment experiences, whether it be mobile, banking, it doesn't really matter. But we're now starting to see things changing, right? Everything is changing, and it's all based around the digital payment sector and digital payment technology. Everything that we know is changing. Tokenization is also another big initiative. We actually even have down here that ANZ Bank recently issued a stablecoin linked to the Australian dollar. This was actually through Hedera. They don't mention it on here, I don't think, but this was actually through Hedera. And we even have, if you take the view that tokenization is inevitable, then we need to build coins that will anticipate what will happen and even work with our customers on their tokenization strategy. And this is from a major bank. But beyond that, we know that Australia has been ready for a very long time, since going all the way back to 2021 when I initially started talking a little bit about Australia and Hedera. But then again, back in January, when we did see Australian Payments Plus rebrand from FTPOS to Australian Payments Plus, or I actually should say, it says here that FTPOS joined with BPay Group and NPP Australia to form Australian Payments Plus. So it's technically a merge of all three of these players into Australian Payments Plus, which did become a council member, and it kind of replaced FTPOS on the council member list. But regardless, this is over 150 partner institutions, and they processed 3.9 billion transactions in 2022. We don't know the scope of how much these 3.9 billion transactions were worth, but it is still something to note. And it also does provide you a little bit of insight on how big DLT is becoming and how linked up Hedera is with these big leaders around the world, especially when it comes to payments. And we even have a quote down here from the Chief Information Officer at Australian Payments Plus. With distributed ledgers, payments organizations like AP Plus can benefit from increased transparency, enhanced security, and improved efficiency in transaction processing. AP Plus has several initiatives underway to ride the wave of innovation with Hedera, unleashing the full potential of DLT to transform our organization. And this is what's going to continue to happen, right? Like as we continue to see moves like this made, it only puts more and more pressure on every single other organization, every single other group out there around payments to innovate and actually change things. And with major changes like ISO 20022, which is going to change messaging around payments, it also puts a lot of pressure on banks to innovate as well for the first time in history. I mean, the last known innovation around payments was credit cards, and that was back in the 60s. So as we really look at this, like, this is truly something special, and it's something that will probably, continue to revolutionize payments in many sectors and industries for the next 100 years. And I'm very excited about this because I do think that one of those leaders is Hedera. And just to give you guys a little bit of a glimpse on the names behind the stablecoin studio as well, here are some other great names behind this. Again, very large players, some exposure to Ripple as well through Zodiac Custody, for an example. Fortress kind of fell out, but you also have Hex Trust, which is working with Ripple on the EHKD project, as well as BCW. But then you also have Archaea. Archaea is a big name on here as well. There's so many great names tied back to Hedera through a lot of these initiatives, like the Stablecoin Studio, or just like the GC. Which tells me, as we really look at stablecoins being part of the future, tokenization being part of the future, in general, DLT being part of the future, I don't see how Hedera is not going to be unleashed globally and become a dominant force to be reckoned with. You must know this information if you do hold Hbar, because again, we are on a long-term journey here into revolutionizing pretty much everything around us in the traditional world. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.